It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. Wednesday evening, August 15th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. My job is to help new traders earn consistent profits using a simple and reliable trading strategy. And my plan this evening is to identify the most reliable trading opportunities setting up for tomorrow's trading session. And tonight, I'm covering crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro. Starting off this evening, crude oil is bearish with what appears to be a spike in range pattern tonight. And that tells me to look for selling opportunities up above the range highs using that 2-try rule tomorrow morning. The S&P is bullish and rotating back into the weekly trading range, and this 2-try reversal is telling me to use a rising support trend line in combination with the hidden channel for buying opportunities tomorrow. Nasdaq is also bullish, rotating back into that triangle from earlier this week, and just like the S&P, I'm looking for that hidden channel for buying opportunities tomorrow morning. Can't forget about gold. Boy, we talked about gold last night. What a move on gold today. Gold is bearish, big spike in channel pattern going lower today. That tells me to look for selling opportunities after a two-legged pullback, and I've got my eyes on a key reversal line on that yellow metal tomorrow, and some big news tomorrow morning that just might shake things up for us as well, so stay tuned on that in just a moment. And we can't forget about the euro. The euro is bullish and rotating back into that trading range from earlier this week. And I got my eyes on buying opportunities around a key range expansion level for Thursday morning session. Speaking of Thursday, I got a great video newsletter for you guys and gals tonight. We got a ton of reliable trading opportunities setting up for tomorrow. As you know, it's been a week of trading ranges, and we're about to see these markets try to go all the way back into those ranges after that big drop right in today's session. So we get some big opportunities setting up for Thursday. Before we jump in though, we got some big news tomorrow morning. We got some big opportunities setting up with that news. Before we jump in though, put the plan together, I do need to remind you, if you're watching me on YouTube this evening, you can find a detailed description of this entire trading strategy. It's written out in text format right here on my blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. I'll leave the links in the description of this video. Also, if you have any questions about anything covered in tonight's video, please remember you can post those in the comment section below. And if you like what you see, please help support this channel by subscribing, and make sure when you do, you hit that bell icon so you always get notified every time I post another video. And if you really want to stay in tune with everything we do here at School of Trade, head over here to sidewaysmarkets.com. This is where all the action happens every day on our blog here at Sideways Markets, and make sure you join our mailing list. In your upper left-hand corner, give me your name and your email address. I'll send you an email every time I publish something new. Also, if you're hanging out on social, lower left-hand corner, stock Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you're on social media, I'm posting exclusive content on my many different social media channels throughout the week. You'll love following me on social, lower left-hand corner if you're hanging out online. And of course, don't forget all the charts from tonight's video. You can have those charts ready for tomorrow's session. Grab those charts right where it says click here to download today's charts, and have those charts ready for tomorrow's session. And speaking of tomorrow's session, I've got a couple of free passes left for Thursday's session. Grab that free pass in the upper right hand corner, come in and get a deeper dive, right? See how this trading strategy works, right? Watch me use this strategy on a real chart, right? Learn more about what it feels like to be in our trade room as a member. Grab that free pass in the upper right hand corner. And again, you can always drop me a comment in the comment section below, or feel free to use live support on the right hand side of the website. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's been a great week so far. One of the best weeks of the year. Had a really good session today. Hope you guys did as well. But let's get moving here, because as I always remind you, we're only as good as our next trade. Let's get ready for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow, of course, is Thursday, August the 16th. We're pushing into that last half of the month of August. Kids are going back to school. I believe it's tomorrow here in Los Angeles. You know, the teachers went back to school earlier this week. Kids are going back to school. Everybody's starting to get back on track. back for the fall season. Don't forget the months of September, October, November, December, January, February, March into April are always the best time to be a trader. And boy, do we feel, right, that price action starting to turn the corner, right, into that fall season in this morning's session. So tomorrow, Thursday morning, we had big news yesterday, right, that we talked about. And boy, did that big news get these markets moving well here this morning, right? We get some more big news coming out tomorrow morning as well. Everything piling on at 8:30. We get the housing starts, we get the jobless claims, right? And of course, we got that Philly Fed. Now, there is something for everyone, right? There's something for everyone, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, right? Something for everybody here tomorrow morning at 8:30. First of all, I get the housing starts number. When I think about housing starts, what do I think about, right? I think about raw materials, lumber, cement, right? And what else? Wiring, right? Copper, all of those, right? Metals, all the raw materials that go into housing. So that's going to cover a broad array, right, of different futures markets for tomorrow. Jobless claims, we haven't seen jobless claims make an impact in almost a decade now, but the Philly Fed, absolutely. When I think Philly Fed, right, that's the business outlook survey. It's kind of like the German zoo report, right? That business confidence report. That's going to be dollar. When I think dollar, I think oil, I think euro, I think gold. So like I said, we literally have a potpourri tomorrow, right, of different markets that will be impacted. I don't think there's anywhere to hide tomorrow. I think everything's going to be shaken up around 8:30. And I'll tell you, the news this morning at 8:30 got things sinking like a rock, right? Tomorrow morning, we could be going right back in the opposite direction. We've had some really, really great volatility as we finish up or as we go into the middle half, right, or the latter half of this month. And I have no reason to think tomorrow won't be, right, another example of that. So get at that early tomorrow. Housing starts and Philly Fed are definitely on our radar tomorrow. And remember, historically, summertime trading, Fridays are usually about a half day, right? So, get to it early, but we should have that. Thursdays are usually pretty good sessions, a full day in front of us. We got some news early. Get these markets moving. I will definitely be looking forward to capitalizing on that wide open window of opportunity, right, tomorrow in our trade room. Don't forget, trade room opens up at 8 o'clock Eastern time. All right, let's jump into some charts here right now. Enough chit chat here. Let's roll those sleeves up. Let's get this strategy put together here for tomorrow. And what a better way to start tonight than with one of my favorite markets on crude. We'll go crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and we'll wrap it tonight on the mighty euro. Now, crude is bearish with what appears to be a flag pattern. Maybe it's a range and potentially a measured move. As you can see, all kidding aside, there isn't much certainty on this chart right now, which in my opinion is the biggest clue going into tomorrow's session. Guys, we're all human beings. Well, I know there's a lot of computers these days that do trading, right? There's a lot of computerized systems these days, but I'll tell you, there's always a warm-blooded, right, human being behind that computer pulling the trigger. We're all humans, right? And those humans need some sort of structure to build our ideas around. And as of right now, all we really know is the market is bearish. That's all we really have right now. It looks like a range in my eyes, with sellers trying to retest the lows after that trap high around 65.40. So that's what I'm running with until we have more information tomorrow. Now, I'm assuming the sellers are going to be able to retest this low, right? So it's a strong move down. I assume the bears are going to retest that low. As you can see, it kind of finished up here real quiet tonight. Not a lot of structure on the chart. I assume those bears are going to retest those lows again. And then from there, we're really going to find more information. So if they retest the low, my plan then is to really wait and see. Do we go through that low? Basically there are basically three scenarios here. One is, right, do we retest the low and bounce, and then that turns into a trading range, right, which is what I think is going to happen tomorrow. But, I mean, like I said, there's really no evidence more than just it's bearish right now. Or do we go through that low, and does this become a spike in channel? Or do we fail, right? Do we fail to retest that low, right? Does it become a triangle, which is basically a range? Or do we fail to retest that low, one try, two try, reversal, right? So I guess I counted wrong. Those are four, right? Four different potential scenarios here. So let's go over each one, right? We don't have enough information right now, but we will, right? Let's go over each one of these scenarios and let's get ready for whatever this market throws at us tomorrow. Scenario number one, strong move down. Anytime we see a strong move down, we should see a two-legged pullback and a retest of that low. Let's do the trading range first. Strong move down, we retest the low and we bounce off of that low. That gives me a double bottom at the low. Anytime we see a double bottom at the low, we know it's a bear market and it's a trading range. Now mark up that high and now we have our range. When I see a double bottom into a trading range, now I know it's the one try, two try failure into the breakout pullback going lower, right? Bottom line is I want to see buyers try once, buyers try twice, and then we're selling into their failure. Or we get the moving average below the low of that range and we're looking for that sell with that breakout pullback. Those are the two most reliable trades you're looking for if we go sideways right here tomorrow. So again, looking for that up top here. I want to see those buyers try once, let them try twice. Again, this is after we've confirmed this is a range. We know it's a range. We know where their stops are. We can sell into those stops. We can look for the hidden channel and sell the pullback off the high of that channel. Strong move down. Then we can look for that breakout pullback, right, going lower from there, right? So it's going to be that bingo, just like that, right? It's the failure into pullback, right, into the breakout pullback down below that low. Two try failure off the high, into a bear, right, into a bear pullback, again, off the high, into that bear breakout pullback, right, down below those lows. Now, I've covered a lot so far, right? Two try rule, failure patterns, pullback patterns, breakout pullback patterns. If you're here for the first time today, real quick, if you're here for the first time today, I'm going to have a lot of terminology right now that's probably going to go right over your head, and it's going to sound like I'm speaking a different language. It happens to everybody. It's easy to learn, and here's what I want to do. One way to do this would be to refer you back to all my previous newsletter videos. You could spend the next 3 weeks and watch every single one of my videos, but I'd rather just give you a shortcut. And that shortcut will be in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to give you that free trading class. I get such great feedback from our class participants on this. People love this class. Grab that free class on the upper right-hand corner. I'll also put the link in the description of this video. If you want to get a deeper dive into all the terminology, all the technical analysis, all the entry patterns, and literally hundreds of hours of examples of those patterns from real charts, grab that free course in the upper right-hand corner and make sure you register, and I'll see you on that video and I'll walk you through, right, this entire trading strategy. So at this point now, we've gone over that first scenario, right? Double bottoms off of that low leads to a range. Two try failure, right, into breakout pullback below that low. Now, what if we keep going lower, right? What if we come out tomorrow and this thing's pushing, right, pushing lower? Now we're going to call this a spiking channel, right? If we can get that push lower, and again, oil, you can see here today, it was a very bearish market. We don't decide the market's gone too far. Once we see that strong move down, I can then look for that new low, connect those lows up to that high. And usually when we get this type of channel like this, right, it's going to usually do something like this. We'll go up above the moving average. When we go above that moving average, this level of resistance, this trend line coming down is going to fool people, right? Buyers aren't going to see it. They're going to try to buy that pullback. And when they do, I'm looking for that failure pattern. That failure now has those buyers getting stopped out. As those buyers get stopped out, don't chase after it. Connect a new low up to that high, and now I can sell off that high. So again, very similar to a range pattern here. We're looking for that two-try failure, right, into that pullback pattern going lower. And you can see I'm always trying to incorporate a level of resistance on all of these entry patterns. The most reliable way to trade a bear market is to find a level of resistance and find an edge over the buyers, whether that be a buyer failure, right, or a strong move down, which gives that momentum, right, in the hands of those bears. So that's the second scenario here, right, for the bears. Now, third and fourth scenarios, these are going to be a little bit more tricky. Third scenario now, we try to go lower and we can't retest that low, right? Now, at this point, this is not a reversal. At this point now, this will be a triangle, right? It'll be a triangle. And if we find that triangle, right, again, imagine now, right, we're going lower. We try to go lower, we bounce back up. Now we draw that trend line coming off that low, support trend line. Big deal. You're going to see a lot of those tonight on this video. Draw that trend line down, right? Now we have a range, but it's going to look like a triangle, right? A lot like the Nasdaq did today. We'll take a look at that in a second as well, right? When we get that triangle, it'll rotate sideways, lower highs, higher lows. The plan is almost the same as a range. I'm going to mark up that swing. I'm going to mark up that swing. I'm going to mark up that swing. Right, and those are the most important clues here. What I'm looking for is a failure pattern, one try, two try. I've got my eyes on this news area up top here, that 65.89. Oftentimes when major news is released and the market just shoots lower like it did, everybody's going to be waiting to sell up around that news report. Right? Imagine all those sellers, right, who are waiting for a pullback. They never get in on that pullback. They're probably waiting up around here, right? That's why the battle zone's up there at 65, 66. So bottom line is, if we do go sideways here, one try, two try, again, two try failure, buyers try once, pull back, buyers try twice. I'm looking for that sell back down. Now, the most important factor now is we have to get below that low. Again, this is all if we go sideways here. If we get below the low, then I can look for that breakout pullback from there, right? So it's going to be a failure pattern or that breakout pullback from there. It's got to be a strong move down below that trading range though, right, to really make sure you get that moving average down, right? You'll learn all about that breakout pullback pattern in that free trading course, right? Grab it in the description, right? Grab it upper right-hand corner. That way you've got that free trading class. All right, guys, so you've got the two try above the high of the triangle. Again, I got my eyes on this news candle high up around that 65.89 area, right? And then, of course, the breakout pullback from there. And then last but not least, I know I'm covering a lot right now, but there's a lot to cover here because it's pretty much a blank slate right now. The last option here now is what we call a two-try reversal. Strong move down. The bears get 38% pullback, something like that. Doesn't really matter, but it's a good pullback, right? They try once, they try twice, right? Higher highs on the two try. If you're a client of mine, you know exactly why we do that. It's all about psychology, right? And now, if we can get those two tries, now we know sellers are in. We know everybody's in. We got the aggressive sellers and we got the more conservative trap high sellers. The bottom line is when I see the sellers try once and try twice, and again, that second try is higher than the first try, now we look for the reversal. And you're going to see some good examples on this on the rest of these charts because, well, it was a day filled with two try reversals. What you need now is that strength, right? That strength moving higher. Once we see that two try followed by that strong move higher, what that tells me is the sellers tried once, they tried twice, but how many times do you think the sellers are going to try? Most of the time, you're going to see a couple examples of more today, but most of the time, once we see that significant two attempts for the bears and they can't retest that low, remember, their goal is to get back down to retest that low. That's what keeps the momentum on their side. If they can't retest that low, this price will shoot higher. When it shoots higher, very tempting now to chase after it for a short covering rally. The problem is we have no idea at that point how far this thing will go. And remember, right, most reliable way to trade a bull market at that point is to buy at support. We find that new support level by marking up those highs, find that low, and buy off of that low, right? So that's what we call the two-try failure. One try, two try. They can't retest the low. We then see price shooting higher here on strength. It's that strength that tells me the sellers are waving the white flag, right? They're asking for the bill. They're getting out, right? And now we're looking for that buy off that, right, off that new hidden channel. A lot of times what happens is it'll do this, right? It'll go up, pull back, right? And you'll get these little swings too. And then it will all come together kind of around one of those little swings, right? It's a little trap, right? A little trap off that, right, off that channel. Now, a word of caution, right? A word of caution. A lot of times these failures, right, after such a big move down, these can really jump. Right? They can really jump. I know from experience those short covering rallies can really be frustrating to watch them go. You're more than welcome, right? It's your own money. You're more than welcome to chase after it if you want to. The problem is sometimes they run, sometimes they don't. I always like to wait for that pullback, find a level of support, right? I talk about that metaphor, right? The small hinge that swings the big door. One of the biggest rules to follow, especially for the new traders, to always make sure you're buying at support. If you're trying to buy it as it jumps higher, I realize it's very tempting, but it's a lot more reliable and it's a good habit to get into. You know, we are literally the byproduct. We are the sum of all of our habits every day, and that habit of buying at support, at buying on pullbacks, will prove to keep you out of more losses than whatever winners you're going to get by chasing after it. So that's the plan there for tomorrow on the crude. I wish I had some more definitive information for you right now, but something tells me, right, Father Time is going to give us a little bit more information in the next few hours, and we'll put the plan together tomorrow morning bright and early. How about some S&P now? Now you guys are experts on that two-try reversal, and now you can see we've got a couple examples of those here tonight on the next charts, right, on the S&P. Pretty much the rest of these charts, except for gold, has a two-try reversal, so pay attention on these. The S&P is bullish with a trading range, a two-try rule, two-try reversal, you could say, a support trend line, and a hidden channel on the chart this evening. The trading range reminds me to buy low using seller failures, right? So, of course, this is that range. If you recall from earlier on this week, right, this is the range that we're using right now. The range reminds me, right, to buy low and go back up, right, to that high. Sell high and go back down to that low. So right now, that range, right, is screaming at us, buy nice and low using seller failures. And it's easy to see now that we did that introduction on the crude oil about the two-try reversal, easy to see that strong move down. And it's relatively easy to see, right? The bears tried once, the bears tried twice. We get higher highs on those two tries. Even got one of my favorite reversal patterns, a crown reversal there as well. Little trap low, you could definitely tell buyers were looking to buy that low. They bought it right back up. And the most important thing is, guys, is that whether or not you figured out this is the two-try rule, look at the personality shift. Right? Look at how the buyers couldn't get very far away from that moving average before, but now look at the buyers strutting their stuff right now. Believe it or not, that's not actually the buyers who are buying right now. That's the sellers waving the white flag, right? Check, please. I'm done. The sellers are getting out of Dodge, right? The buyers are now being given this momentum now at their back. Right? The momentum was going lower earlier, right? And now we've got that momentum, one try, two try, oh shoot, we're wrong, right? They failed to retest that low, and the buyers now are taking it higher. So this is where we got that momentum now, right, going higher, right? I don't want to chase the move higher, as I mentioned earlier. Again, this is a classic scenario of a short covering rally that's waiting to happen right now. There's no way of telling, though, are all the sellers going to bail on this, right? And are we going to go straight line up? I don't know. Or will we mosey our way down? That's the hard part. We don't know. right? And there's no oscillator, there's no tape reading you can really do that will tell you that. And again, like I mentioned earlier, don't get in the habit of chasing after these moves if they do jump, because again, the bad habit of chasing moves will cost you far more money and losses over your career than the little bit you're going to make by getting these random jumps, right, in these short covering rallies. So again, I don't want to chase the move higher. My goal is to buy at support. So I'm identifying these support levels, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Identifying these support levels, and I'm looking for a pullback right now. So as I kind of zoom in on this, right, this, by the way, whenever you see a reversal like this, don't waste your time with this channel, right? This channel is going to waste your time, right? In this example, I'm drawing it off of these highs just to give you that low. But keep in mind, if this thing goes higher here, right, there's no reason why, again, it's a short covering rally. If this thing runs higher here now, I'm going to have to adjust this now, and I really hope we do, to be honest with you, adjust this and then look for that buy, right, off of that low. You can also see what appears to be possibly the beginning, right, of a spike in channel here too, right, a little spike in channel up here. So again, buying, right, that pullback. So all signs point to up right now. It's very difficult to believe the bears still want this. So I'm looking for either a trap pattern, right, below that 17.25. I'm looking for a failure pattern below this moving average. That failure oftentimes leads to strength. Don't chase after that strength. Find that new channel, right? Buy off the low of that channel, right? Again, it's called a two-try failure. It's the same thing back here, just on a much smaller scale, right? It's a seller failure, right, into a buyer pullback. And again, I'm just drawing on the screen right now to define the idea for tomorrow. If you want a much deeper dive into these patterns and see examples of all these patterns, grab that free course. It's in the description. It's linked in the top upper right-hand corner there as well. Not to worry, pause the video. I'll be here when you get back. Enroll for that free class. That way you know more about this and you can get more from this newsletter every evening. So that's the goal, right? That's the goal. Get that nice deep pullback down. And again, right, if this thing jumps, right, if we see this thing really jump up here, we're going to find a new channel. We'll get more aggressive. We just got to wait patiently for it to show us the jump and then, right, and then get that pullback going back down. Last but not least, how do we turn bearish? Is there any hope left for the bears right now? I think they're waving the white flag right now, but what would a bear market look like? A bear market's got to go back to retest those lows. I don't think you're going to be able to really be confident trying to sell this market until we go back to retest the low. Just because, think about it, right? Are you really going to try to sell this pullback right here? You going to sell that? Please say no. Yeah, right? We don't want to sell that. We don't want to sell that pullback right there because you get the trend line coming in, right? So it's going to be very difficult, right, to get short right there. But if you want to, that's where you're going to have to try. Below that, right, below that low or below that trend line. And even then, right, it's going to be, right, it's going to be difficult. It'd be difficult to convince those sellers that this little bit of profit down here is worth it because the objective is to get back to retest that low. So again, I hope they give it a try. I hope they try to sell this thing because then we can look for that failure into strength into pullback, and then pull back right back up into that range. Again, I think the most important clue for tomorrow is this two-try failure. There's a good chance, though. There's probably a 50% chance right now this thing really flutters higher here in the short term. So to stay patient, right, get that new channel if it flutters higher here and just wait to buy the pullback, right? It'll come. It may not come when I want it to come, right, but it will come eventually, right, as those buyers go. And if we really swing, right, remember, if we really swing higher here, that momentum will be way too strong to sell the high of the range, to try failure, right? And then we'll sell back into it. That'll be later on in the session, right, tomorrow, right? So that could be 9:45, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning by the time these buyers finish up their move and we get that move back down. And remember, it's a trading range. It's a week of ranges here this week, this third week of August. And so it's buy low, sell high. When we get back to those highs, if that momentum is really pushing, right, you don't want to trade a failure. You want to wait for that turn. Just like we talked before, right? One try, two try. It's a good example, right? You can't buy that failure right there. We talked about this last night, right? I don't want to sound like a broken record. We talked about this last night, right? You can't sell. Sorry, you can't buy this thing going back into the range because momentum is too strong, right? Did a full lesson on that, right, yesterday evening on our newsletter. Go back and watch that one, right, if you want to get caught up on momentum, because I can see here I'm already running late here on time. And again, that free course, right, will give you all the details on that. Looking good. All right, Nasdaq. Beautiful session today on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq gets pummeled going lower. Nasdaq is bullish, right, with a triangle. Two-try rule, hidden range, right, hidden channel, and of course a support trend line on the chart this evening. This is going to look a lot like the S&P, except we have a triangle, right? The bears started with a strong drive lower, but after 3 attempts failed to retest the low. The sellers are just finally now giving up, letting these buyers take control with a clear momentum shift back towards the range where the week began. You know, I don't want to chase this move higher, so my plan is to wait for buying opportunities using a hidden channel as support, right, tomorrow morning. So again, we're coming out of that range, right? This, of course, is that triangle we started off the weekend, right? There's that triangle. And, you know, I talked about this last night, right? We had retail sales today. Retail sales, right, are really what's responsible for this big move down. We slam lower. The bears try once. Higher high, they tried twice. I mean, heck, they even, because you could clearly see the bulls did not take control right there, they even tried a third time here. All right, you can see that trend line holding rock solid right now. And now look at the personality difference right now. Look at how the market struggled to get and hold above the moving average when the bears had control, right? That was a bear market up until this afternoon. Now look, bouncing off the moving average, right? It's almost like buyers are going, right? They're celebrating right now off of that, right, off of that moving average. Again, you can easily see the personality shift, right? It's like watching someone's face go from being upset to being excited. You can see it change right in front of you. You can see the bears have it, the bears have it, the bears have it, the bears still have it, but wait a second, nope, bulls got it. You can see they're jumping right off of that moving average. And again, it's not the buyers who are buying this. It's the sellers who are saying, nope, we tried once. We tried twice. We tried 3 times, guys, right? We better wrap it up, right, before we lose our shirts. They get out of their positions, and this allows the price to run higher. That momentum now, again, I don't want to chase after it. I want to buy at support. I've got this support trend line down here. That support trend line is ultimately just keeping the sellers away. Right? It's bear repellent at this point. That's all that trend line is. I mean, we're probably not going to get that deep pullback all the way down to that trend line. It's probably not going to happen because these are not buyers buying up here. These are sellers buying, right? These sellers don't care about the pullback. They're thinking, my stop's up here. Get out while you still got some profit off that pullback, right? That's the reason why this is probably not going to pull all the way back to those lows. Hey, hopefully I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong, guys, right? I'm not saying I don't want that. I hope we get that pullback right down to that rising support trend line. But again, just like the S&P, right, if we make a run lower here again, do you really think sellers are going to look at this chart and go, well, 1, 2, you know what, fourth time's a charm? Probably not. Right? Probably not. Not right. Not on my account. That's for sure. So we know that sellers are most likely beat in this situation. Now find support. Find support. Find support. Find support. Again, right? Looks like we got a bit of a spiking channel going on here. Spiking channel patterns always tell me pull back, buy that low. So we got potential trap pattern below that 59.25. We got potential failure pattern. This would be the ideal, right? Failure pattern to try failure into strength, strength into pullback, right? And pullback goes up into that triangle, right? 74.25, 74.25, right? That's really where we're trying to go here right now, going back into that range. What else here? What else here? What if we jump? Right? What if we keep going? What if we keep going? We run higher, fine. Find that new channel, right? Find a steeper channel. Buy that one instead, right? Doesn't matter to me. This is just what I have to work with right now, right? So that's the channel right now. That would be ideal in the short term. If it runs higher, again, short covering rally. These are not buyers buying up here. These are sellers buying up here, and that's going to make it that gives it the potential just to run, right? We could see a couple really big candles here, and at that point, don't chase after it. Find that, right? Find that new channel, and we're buying off the low of that channel. And again, to buy off that low, it's either going to be a trap pattern, right? Trap below prior swing, or a failure pattern, right? Or again, a failure into a pullback pattern right on the way up. And again, I know I'm going through this relatively quickly, and if you're here for the first time, I understand you probably don't grasp all of this information, which is why I'm giving you that free course in the upper right-hand corner and in the description, right? Register for the free course. That way you've got what it takes to get the deep dive, to get all the, right, all the kind of intimate details of these patterns and see what they look like in a real chart. All right, guys. Another scenario here, it's always a good idea to keep in mind, possible range. I don't think we can go range bound. I'd be very surprised if we go range bound here off this, right? But range bound market, if we do see it go double top at those highs, right? We do see double tops there. That becomes a range. Simple scenario, one try, two try, right? Buy the low of that range. There's a chance. It's not likely, but there's always a chance, right? We go sideways. And that, of course, even goes, we go higher here, right? Double top, we pull back, right? If we go higher, one try, two try. Again, it's that two try rule. It's the same principle of the two try rule here. One try, two try, failure back up, right? That'd be a one try, two try below that range, failure back up from there. Same thing, except applied on a much faster time frame. All right, guys, we're looking good. So target here for the Nasdaq is back into that range. And then don't forget, if we do see, right, if we do see it real strong like this, let it go one try, let it go two try. That failure will be way too low reliability. If it really goes strong, wait for that drop, find that new channel, right, and sell off of that channel. Again, the volume is a little bit low right now, this third week of August. It's seasonal. It's not going to be like this forever, but it is producing some really, really big moves right now, and those big moves, you don't want to try to trade into them. Let those moves subside, just like we saw here, right? Strong move down, right? As I mentioned last night, you can't buy that as a seller failure. Momentum is too strong. You see what's happening, right? The bears are coming in and selling it here. They're selling it here. Yeah, it eventually worked, but boy, there was a lot of pain, right? And a lot of stress involved on that. You're much better off waiting for that reversal and then buying the dip once that reversal comes. All right, guys, great chart on that Nasdaq. Over to the gold here right now. Gold, what a day today on the gold. My only regret on gold was not sticking with that short a little bit longer today in the trade room. Gold is bearish with a spike in channel, a measured move, a reversal line, and of course a hidden channel on the chart this evening. The bears had a strong three-legged move lower with this spike in channel pattern, barely giving sellers any opportunity to sell today. And that tells me that any retracement off these lows is most likely going to be seen as a selling opportunity up at resistance levels overhead. And one of the best levels of resistance will be that 90 half, right? That 90 half is a reversal line, and you get a hidden channel, right, coming down overhead as well. So bottom line is, we know the market's bearish right now on the gold, right? We have one leg, two legs, three legs down. It looks like they found, right, their happy place here for just at least a few hours here on gold. But the big clue is this spike in channel. That spike in channel, what do spike in channels tell me? Spike in channels basically tell me to look for that deep pop and a retest of that low. And that goes right along with the overall personality of it, because look, we really never got that deep pullback today. Every time the market hit the moving average, those sellers were waiting there to sell. Usually you get a market that will make that strong run down, but usually at some point in the day, you're going to get that nice deep pullback, that failure at the moving average, right, and the collapse back down. We never got that today. Right? We never got that deep pullback today. That leads me to believe there are still sellers out there waiting up above these highs, and they've probably got a lot of orders just hanging out there right now to scale into positions. I really like this reversal line area. I really like this area right there. That area between 88 and what is that, 90.5. I really like this area right there because typically speaking, this much movement, sellers are going to be hesitant to sell that first trap. They'll look for a deeper pullback. The previous two swings definitely are on my radar right now because I can also line up this low with that high up here, and that seems to be a pretty good spot right there, right? Up and back down. So obviously, I'm looking to go higher so we can sell it back down again. I'd like to go either a aggressive trap, right? Aggressive trap, be a trap high of a prior swing, or we see price go up, price goes higher. Buyers now are going to try to reverse that trend, which we'll talk about in a moment. Buyers will now try to buy that pullback most likely. This is where we look for those stops. We sell into those stops. That sell usually triggers stops. Those stops send price running lower. Do not chase after it. Find that new channel, look for that sell off that channel, right? And we'll sell going back down. So again, it's a buyer failure, right? It's up, one try, two try, into those stops. Stops lead to strength. Strength tells me wait for the pullback, and the pullback, back down we go. Again, hundreds of examples of these patterns are available in the free trading course, right in the description, right, of this video right below. Now, what if we go sideways here tomorrow? Definitely a possibility. Sometimes we get these big, strong runs, but nobody takes their profit, right? They say, no way, I'm holding this thing. You know, like you're holding Litecoin right now or Ethereum, right? Hodl till you get kicked out of grandma's basement, right? As I say, right? So if you've got sellers, right? If you got sellers, I'm joking around, of course, on that. I don't mean to insult anybody who's hodling, right, in Nana's basement right now. But the bottom line is, if we do see a double bottom off of that low, right? If we do see that double bottom off of that low, we start going sideways here. Don't turn bullish. This does not mean we're bullish yet. It just means we're going sideways. If we go sideways, momentum is still bearish. It's just nobody's taking profit. And the only way to get people excited about it is you got it at a higher price. Once the price goes higher, again, buyers are going to come in and they're going to foolishly, I know they will because I did this for the first 3.5, almost 4 years of my career, they're going to try to buy that pullback, right? They're going to say, see, I told you, there's a pivot point down here. You know, the old S7 pivot point, right? I told you that's a buy, right? Buy this. The problem, though, is the momentum is not on the side, right, of those buyers. I'm going to be looking for those buyers to fail, right? So one try, two try, right? Failure, back down. I have no right to say the market's gone too far. And I don't care what level of support is down here, right? That momentum is so strong right now that until this market turns, I'm looking for that one try, two try, and we'll sell that sucker right back down again. Now, what would the turn look like? Right? What would a reversal look like? Oh, that's easy, right? That's a strength, pull back to the moving average, right? And a strength. Right? Now, this is where, again, you're not buying that first pullback. Because if you're buying that first pullback, what happened here? What happened here? Right? What happened here? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's easy in hindsight to say, well, yeah, I would have bought that pullback. Well, okay, so what about that pullback? How about that pullback? Right? That's the problem. Right? Momentum's too strong. So you can't rely on that first pullback. Because those pullbacks fail all day long. It's what literally transfers money from rookie traders' accounts into experienced traders' accounts, right, are those failed pullbacks. Wait for that new strength, right? Remember, when you see this strength, right, we talk about the 1, 2, 3 reversal, right? It's that strength going higher. It's that personality shift where the market's bearish until all of a sudden the bears go, okay, we're done, right? And they walk away. These are not buyers buying this. These are sellers getting out of the way, right? The same amount of strength that we see going lower. Look at how the bears jump off that moving average, right? The bears go lower, they jump off the moving average. We need to see these bulls, right, like that moving average is electric, right? Bam, big jump off the moving average. That's what we need. That's going to be the reversal. Then we'll find, right, that new channel. And again, like I said earlier, it's going to be very tempting to want to buy this thing. The hard part is, again, these are not buyers buying. As soon as those bears get out, this market will start pulling back, So good luck trying to predict how far that short covering rally will go. Sometimes they go all the way, sometimes they barely go at all. All right, guys, but that's going to be your buy if we get that reversal. Doesn't look good right now, but again, we got that housing starts number tomorrow morning, and we got that Philly Fed. This could reverse. It easily could. It's not there yet, right? It's not there yet, but it easily could. If we keep going lower here, not much changes. We still want to go up. Failure, back down again. So if it keeps going lower, we're going to keep this party going lower as well. But we're going to focus on selling high tomorrow. All right, how about some euro? You guys are going to kill me for this. It's pretty much the same thing as the E-minis here. I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken record right now. Euro is bearish. Sorry, euro is bullish, I should say. Make sure I change that, right? Euro is bullish with a trading range, a 2-try reversal, right, and a strong bull move higher on the chart this evening. The trading range tells me I want to buy that low, right? Here's that trading range, right? Trading range tells me I want to buy that low. We talked about this, right, last night. That big strong move down. You can't sell the failure. You see what happens, right? You got to wait for the turn. We're getting the turn now. Right, so we're getting that turn now. We're getting the turn back into that range now. Trading range says, right, buy going back to the high, right, the target back around the high of that range. That's going to be our target here, right, for the bulls. The 2-try rule tells me strong move down, 1 try, 2 try. Look at the momentum, right? We haven't seen that momentum shift like that. The sellers have been selling. They've been selling, right? And, of course, now with that higher low, we draw up that trend line, right? That trend line combined with mark up these highs down to those lows. So now we have kind of that trend line right there. This is a beautiful slice of support right there. I'd love to be able to get a buy off of that support level, right, for the move going back up. The strength for the bulls is the big clue right now. That tells me the momentum is shifting back to the bull side, but I don't want to buy now. It's too high to buy, right? I want to wait for a pullback and buy off that support level, right? So of course we know right now, you know, if it doesn't move anymore, it's literally this slice right there, right? It's that slice right there. I want to see a pullback, failure, strength, don't chase, find that new channel, buy that, right? Buy that channel, buy the pullback, right? And back up we go into that trading range. Or maybe we go sideways here right now, right? If we go sideways here, we go sideways, 1 try, 2 try, failure back up. Or maybe we jump, right? Maybe we jump higher. If we jump higher, new spiking channel, right? Buying that low, finishing off, right, up the high of that range. How would it turn bearish? Pretty strong, right? We're going to see a strong move down. It's got to be a strong move down. I would say at this point, the only way I call this a bear market is if we retest that low right now. Just because, again, you've got that 1 try, 2 try, and you can just see the sellers, right, giving up on it. Buyers are waiting. They come in. They buy the pullback on this. I'd love to see it again. Keep running, right? Going to be tough to be a seller here. You got that rising support trend line. The only way that I could see being a seller would be if we were able to get a strong enough move down. I mean, really strong here, really, really strong down, and then use the underbelly of that trend line. Right? I mean, that would literally be the only scenario. We'd have to see a strong enough move down, but it wouldn't retest that low. And you would sell off that trend line. That's going to be a really ugly pattern. That's going to be a really difficult pattern to take if we get it. So keep your eyes open for it. But you know, there's so many highly reliable opportunities we can find across all these markets. It seems a little bit insane to be trying to force that type of trade here right now. So I'm going to be skipping that pattern, right? If we see it tomorrow, we'll wait and see if these buyers can take the sucker back up into that range. So a lot of these 2 try reversals, right? A lot of these 1 try, 2 try reversal, find that new channel, buy off that channel low, back up into that trading range. That is the topic of tonight's newsletter because that's what we're seeing here for tomorrow. And before I let you guys go, please don't forget my job, right? What I do every day here at School of Trade is I make ordinary people into extraordinary traders by using the proper mindset, the proper strategy, right, and developing the right skill sets. If you want to be one of those extraordinary traders, right, that gets that life-changing opportunity of being a professional trader, grab that free trial on my homepage. Learn more on School of Trade's homepage here. I got beginner, intermediate, advanced classes. Whether you're brand new to this, right? If you're brand new, grab that beginner course and learn the right way to start your career, right? If you're an experienced trader and all you really want is a good strategy and a great trade room to make sure you're doing it the right way, you're going to love that advanced class as well. Any questions? I got live support on the right-hand side. I've got my toll-free number, trying to let my ugly mug scare you away right now. And again, if you want to see how it all works, grab that free trial, call me in the office, and we'll look forward to speaking with you and helping you reach your goals. Guys, my name is Joseph. As always, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, we'll be in our trade room. If I don't see you guys tomorrow morning as part of our trade room, I'll see you same time, same place on tomorrow night's newsletter, 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's it for me, guys. Once again, my name is Joseph. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.